Welcome to today's video, and in today's video I'm going to give you a few points as to why most people, potentially you included, give up on their fitness journeys and what you can do about each point. Although before I get started on the specific points, I do want to say if you're not subscribed to the channel already, then please do subscribe. It would help immensely. Otherwise, let's get stuck in no particular order, by the way. So as someone who has been working out and coaching others for a total of 9 years, I can say one very popular reason is unrealistic goals. Because I've said it many times before and I'll say it again, the fitness industry is rife with false promises, quick fixes, and all of this has no doubt skewed your expectations as to what a reasonable timeline for change is. And setting goals that are just way too overly ambitious, especially if you're a complete beginner, is just a very easy way to get quickly demotivated and just to quickly stop what you're doing. And then point number 2 is lack of motivation, because chances are you set your fitness goals when you're at your most motivated, and you're bearing no fault for when motivation will predictably decline, because motivation does decline. It comes and goes. It's not around forever. Which means that when motivation does decline, because you've set these goals that are very dependent on you being highly motivated, you're just going to stop. So my tip to you is to make goals that you know you will stick with when you're demotivated as well. And then on to point number 3, as you can probably already tell, I'm not going to go into insane depth on each point because I don't need to. These are just points that I don't need to overcomplicate. They're just points that I think someone needs to bring to light for you so that you can realize potentially what you need to adjust. But again, on to point number 3, which again is going to be just another quick point. You don't have a clear plan of action. You just tell yourself, oh, I'm going to eat healthier. Oh, I'm just going to work out more. Which, they're both nice thoughts, of course, nothing wrong with that, but not to an extent. But they don't tell you exactly what you're going to do, how often you're going to do it. It's very vague. What does eating healthier even mean? Healthy could look different to you as it does to me. So what you need to do is start being more specific, because then by being more specific, you'll know exactly what you need to do and what you have to do and how many times you're going to do it, etc., etc. And then on to point number 4, lack of time. And whether or not this is actually just you giving yourself a cop-out, or you genuinely have a lack of time. You might be, you might have kids, you might have a full-time job, maybe you work 2 jobs, and the lack of time is a serious issue for you. That's fair enough. What I would say here is set yourself a minimum amount of minutes that you will do every week, even if it's just 20 minutes a week, because again, something always trumps nothing. So if you can only do 20 or 30 minutes for the entire week, then just do 20 or 30 minutes. And you will find that when you're consistent with those 20 or 30 minutes, you will start to find other gaps in your schedule where you can potentially fit in other exercise sessions as well, just because of the motivation that is coming from the consistent behavior that you're doing. And then on to the first of the last 2 points, which is point number 5, is your negative self-talk. If you are consistently talking negatively to yourself, then of course that's eventually going to become your identity. It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. How can you expect yourself to change if you're always putting yourself down? And this might sound cliche, but it's true, because one thing I can confidently tell you is that the most successful Kairos Online members that I've had ever are the ones that either practice gratitude and or often highlight their accomplishments, no matter how small it might sound. So again, if you're always saying, oh, I can't lose weight, oh, I'm the victim, then again, it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then every time the going gets tough, you'll convince yourself of that and you're going to stop. And then the final point, which is very important as well. To be fair, they are all important points, the points that I've mentioned throughout, but this one is very important too. And I can tell you this because I've experienced it firsthand. It's a lack of accountability. Before I go into any more depth of it, I've had my own personal trainer in the past, a few years ago when I was much younger. I have my own business coach right now. I have a Japanese teacher, and I can tell you all of these things that I've wanted to improve at, whether it was my fitness, whether it was my business, whether it was my Japanese learning, I've always seeked out someone to keep me accountable, and someone who's walked the walk, who knows more than me and who can just teach me more. And you'll find when you have someone in that corner, someone you need to report back to, whether it's every day, every week, every month, whatever it might be, that accountability there is going to leave you more likely to be consistent, because again, you have someone in your corner. And the last thing you want to do is, turn up every week and say, oh, I didn't do anything again. Like, you're going to want to get it done. So number 1, you can be a good student, for lack of a better word. And then number 2, if you're paying someone to give a damn, for lack of a better word again, then you're obviously going to want to be more consistent as well, because now you're putting money towards this too. You don't want to waste your own money. So yeah, lack of accountability could be a big issue for you right now. And if you feel like you're being extremely inconsistent and you either don't have accountability right now, or you've never even had accountability or someone to keep you accountable, I should say, then find someone. I would say that's going to be a massive game changer for you. And again, if you want my accountability, then the link to inquire to be a Kairos Online member will be in the caption of this video. So fill that out again if you would like accountability and more. Although before finishing, one thing I do want to mention is that phases of demotivation are very normal. They're not strange or weird. So when you do have them, don't freak out. Don't think you're the exception. Again, everyone gets them. The most important thing is how you react to these phases of demotivation. So remember that moving forward. Otherwise, I do hope this helped. If you want to check out my podcast, whether it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or maybe other platforms like Amazon or Google Podcasts as well, then I'll leave the link for that in the caption of this video as well. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. Take care, and I'll see you around. Because then with specificity, specificity,